Imagine this: you stand up, ready for a simple walk, and before you even take 10 steps, your legs feel heavy, tired, like they're running on empty. You might think it's just fatigue or age catching up, but here's the shocking truth. It's not your legs that are weak, it's your body that's unprepared. And as a surgeon, I can show you one simple exercise you can do before walking that instantly wakes up your muscles, improves circulation, and makes every step feel lighter and easier. Stick with me, because this is going to change the way your legs feel forever. When your legs feel tired during walking, most people immediately assume something is wrong with their strength, their age, or their overall fitness level. But in reality, that assumption is usually incorrect. In many cases, the legs are not weak at all, they are simply unprepared. The body is designed to move efficiently, but only when the correct muscles are awake and communicating properly with the brain. When you stand up after sitting for long periods, or when you start moving first thing in the morning, the muscles that are meant to power walking are often still dormant. This creates a situation where the body has to improvise. And that improvisation is what causes fatigue to appear so quickly. Walking with cold muscles forces the body to rely on inefficient movement patterns. Instead of the large, powerful muscles around the hips doing their share of the work, small muscles in the thighs, calves, and even around the knees step in to compensate. These muscles are not designed for prolonged endurance in walking, so they fatigue faster and send signals of heaviness and tiredness to the brain. This sensation can happen even in people who walk every day, because frequency alone does not guarantee proper muscle activation. The body can repeat poor patterns just as easily as good ones. Another major contributor to tired legs is circulation. Muscles play a critical role in helping blood move back toward the heart, especially in the lower body. When muscles are inactive or slow to engage, blood can pool in the legs, creating a heavy, sluggish feeling that many people mistake for weakness. This is why the first few minutes of walking often feel uncomfortable, stiff, or exhausting, while the rest of the walk feels better. The body eventually warms itself up, but it does so under stress, instead of being gently prepared beforehand. Aging often gets blamed for this problem, but aging itself is not the true cause. What changes with age is how quickly muscles activate and how efficiently the nervous system communicates with them. Without deliberate activation, this communication becomes slower over time. That delay forces the body into inefficient movement strategies that waste energy and increase fatigue. This does not mean walking is harmful, but it does mean that walking without preparation becomes harder than it needs to be. Many people also believe that stretching before walking solves the problem. But stretching relaxed muscles does not tell them to engage. In some cases, it can actually make the muscles feel more unstable when movement begins. What the body truly needs before walking is a clear signal that movement is about to happen, allowing the correct muscles to wake up and support the joints properly. When that signal is missing, walking becomes a negotiation between muscles instead of a smooth, coordinated action, and the internal struggle is felt as tired legs almost immediately after starting to move. Walking might seem like a simple activity that anyone can do without thinking, but in reality it's an intricate neurological process that requires precise coordination between the brain, muscles, and joints. Every step you take involves your nervous system sending signals to activate certain muscles at the right time in the right sequence with the right amount of force. When this system isn't functioning efficiently, even a short walk can feel exhausting, because the body is constantly compensating for muscles that aren't firing properly. Most people don't realize that walking isn't just about moving your legs forward, it's about stabilizing your hips, engaging your glutes, coordinating your core, and maintaining balance. When the large muscles that are meant to handle most of the workload are underactive, the smaller muscles are forced to take over. And these muscles are not designed to sustain long periods of repetitive motion, which leads to early fatigue. This is particularly common in people who spend a lot of time sitting. Sitting for hours at a desk in a car or on a couch can cause the muscles around your hips, especially the glutes, to become dormant. The brain essentially forgets to recruit these muscles efficiently because they haven't been activated regularly. When you suddenly try to walk, the body struggles to coordinate the movement properly, and the effort required to move forward feels greater than it should. The quads and calves end up overworking, absorbing forces they aren't designed to handle, and your walking pattern becomes less efficient. This inefficiency doesn't just make your legs feel tired faster, it also places unnecessary stress on your joints and can even affect your posture over time. Balance and stability are also heavily influenced by neurological control. Walking may look effortless, but the tiny adjustments your body makes with each step require constant communication between your brain and muscles. When stabilizing muscles are asleep or weak, your body has to work harder to maintain upright posture and prevent wobbling. Even though you may not consciously notice it, your nervous system is expending extra energy to correct these small imbalances. That energy expenditure is felt in your legs as heaviness, tightness, or fatigue, making each step feel more laborious than it should. Another factor is the timing and coordination of muscle activation. In an efficient gait, the glutes, hamstrings, calves, and core work in a precise sequence to propel you forward smoothly while minimizing energy expenditure. When this sequence is disrupted because certain muscles aren't engaged, the body compensates by overloading other muscles, creating tension and inefficiency. That overloading manifests as the burning or tired sensation in your legs, which many people misinterpret as weakness or poor fitness. In reality, the problem is the lack of neurological readiness, not lack of strength. What most people overlook is that these inefficiencies are reversible. The brain and muscles can be retrained to communicate properly with the right preparation. By activating the key stabilizing muscles before walking, you restore the natural sequencing that makes walking effortless. Once the body learns to fire the right muscles at the right time, balance improves, energy is used more efficiently, and the legs no longer fatigue as quickly. The difference is not just physical, it's neurological. Your brain finally knows which muscles to wake up and how to use them, which transforms walking from a tiring chore into a smooth, natural motion that feels effortless even after prolonged activity. Simple hip hinge exercise that I recommend before walking may look basic, but it's actually incredibly powerful when it comes to waking up the muscles that support your legs, hips, and lower back. Most people underestimate how much energy and effort goes into walking, and how critical it is to have the right muscles engaged before you even take a single step. The hip hinge is designed to activate the posterior chain, which includes the glutes, hamstrings, and deep stabilizing muscles of the core and lower back. These muscles are responsible for propulsion, stability, and endurance, and when they're properly engaged, walking becomes smoother, lighter, and far less tiring. For people who feel their legs get heavy almost immediately during a walk, this simple activation exercise can make an enormous difference, not just in reducing fatigue, but in improving overall movement quality. When you perform the hip hinge correctly, you're teaching your body to use the glutes and hamstrings as the primary drivers for movement instead of relying on smaller muscles that fatigue quickly, like the quads and calves. This reallocation of effort means that your body can move more efficiently, using muscles that are designed for the task. Even if you've been walking daily, if these muscles haven't been properly activated, your walking pattern is often inefficient, and your legs tire faster than they should. The beauty of the hip hinge is that it doesn't require equipment, a mat, or a lot of space, yet it primes the exact muscles that are most often dormant after prolonged sitting or inactivity. By doing just 10 to 15 controlled repetitions before a walk, you can essentially wake up the key muscles and get them ready to perform. Circulation is another major benefit of the hip hinge. Engaging the glutes and hamstrings helps stimulate blood flow in the lower body, which in turn improves oxygen delivery to the muscles and helps remove metabolic waste that contributes to that heavy, tired feeling. When these muscles are inactive, blood can pool in the legs, creating that sluggish sensation that many people experience at the beginning of a walk. By activating the posterior chain before moving, you're essentially turning on your body's natural muscle pump, allowing blood to circulate efficiently and preparing your legs to handle the demands of walking with less effort. The neurological benefits are equally important. Walking is not just a physical activity. It's a complex coordination between the brain and muscles. When the glutes, hamstrings, and stabilizers are dormant, your nervous system has to work harder to coordinate movement, often resulting in inefficient gait patterns, wasted energy, and premature fatigue. The hip hinge sends a clear signal to your brain that these muscles are about to be used, improving timing, coordination, and muscle firing patterns. This means that the very first steps of your walk are supported, stable, and efficient, rather than slow and tiring until your body finally catches up mid-walk. Consistency amplifies the benefits. Performing this exercise every time before walking retrains your muscles and nervous system, gradually making the activation automatic. Over time, your body begins to engage these muscles naturally when you stand up or start walking, making every step easier, your stride more fluid, and your legs less prone to fatigue. In essence, the hip hinge is a preventative tool that not only improves immediate walking performance but also protects your joints, strengthens your muscles, and trains your body to move efficiently for years to come, transforming what might have felt like a tiring chore into an effortless, energizing activity. When your hips and stabilizing muscles are properly activated before walking, it does more than just make your legs feel less tired. It fundamentally changes how your joints handle the forces of movement. The knees, hips, and lower back are designed to work in harmony, but when key muscles are underactive, these joints end up taking on more stress than they're meant to handle. For example, if the glutes aren't firing properly, the quads and calves compensate, which shifts the load forward onto the knees. Over time, this repeated overload can contribute to pain, inflammation, and even the early onset of joint degeneration. The same principle applies to the hips and lower back. If the muscles that stabilize the pelvis aren't engaged, the lumbar spine and hip joints absorb extra force with each step. This inefficient distribution of load is one of the main reasons people who walk regularly can still experience discomfort, stiffness, or fatigue in their legs and joints. Activating the right muscles before walking helps distribute forces evenly across the body, allowing the joints to function as they were designed. Joint protection also comes from improved alignment. When your stabilizing muscles are dormant, your gait tends to compensate in subtle ways that are often unconscious. Your pelvis may tilt, your knees may track slightly inward or outward, and your spine may adopt minor but repeated compensatory movements. These seemingly small misalignments may not cause immediate pain, but over weeks, months, and years they can lead to chronic issues and make walking feel progressively more tiring. By waking up the muscles that support proper posture and alignment, such as the glutes, hamstrings, and core stabilizers, you set your body out to maintain optimal mechanics. This allows your joints to move through their natural ranges of motion efficiently and safely, reducing unnecessary stress and helping to prevent long-term damage. Another key factor is energy efficiency. When the joints are supported by strong, active muscles, movement requires less effort. The body doesn't have to compensate constantly, which reduces the energy cost of walking. That means your legs feel lighter. You can walk farther without fatigue, and the risk of overloading your joints is minimized. Conversely, when muscles are not prepared, the joints absorb more impact and work harder, which not only contributes to tired legs but also accelerates wear and tear over time. Proper activation before walking essentially allows your body to perform at its optimal mechanical advantage, protecting your knees, hips, and lower back from unnecessary strain. This is particularly important for people who already experience joint discomfort or stiffness. Gentle activation exercises like the hip hinge don't just wake up the muscles, they also improve circulation and lubrication around the joints, enhancing mobility and comfort. Even a short, controlled activation routine can help reduce stiffness, making walking feel smoother and less taxing on the body. It's a preventative strategy that addresses both the immediate sensation of tired legs and the long-term health of your joints. Finally, consistent pre-walk activation trains your body to move more intelligently. Over time, your muscles begin to fire in the correct sequence automatically, supporting proper alignment, distributing forces evenly, and minimizing unnecessary stress on your joints. This not only makes walking more comfortable in the present but also preserves joint health for years to come, reducing the likelihood of chronic pain, fatigue, or injury. By taking just a few minutes to prepare your muscles, You are investing in a long-term strategy that keeps your knees, hips, and lower back protected while improving your overall walking experience. Consistently preparing your body before walking can completely transform the way you move, and it's not just about reducing fatigue. It's about creating a cycle of efficiency, stability, and confidence that compounds over time. When you take the time to activate the right muscles before starting a walk, you're essentially telling your body, get ready to move efficiently, and your muscles respond immediately. That initial preparation primes your glutes, hamstrings, and core stabilizer, which are the muscles that do the heavy lifting when it comes to walking. Once these muscles are engaged, your joints are supported, your stride becomes smoother, and your nervous system coordinates movement far more efficiently. The result is that every step feels lighter, your energy is preserved, and your legs don't tire as quickly. This is especially important for people who have noticed that walking even short distances leaves their legs feeling heavy or sluggish, because the body is now able to distribute work in a way that prevents early fatigue. The benefits of pre-walk activation go beyond just immediate energy savings. When the correct muscles are firing, your walking pattern becomes more stable and balanced, which reduces the risk of awkward compensations that can lead to pain or injury. For example, without proper glute activation, people often overuse their quads and calves, which can create knee stress, hip strain, or lower back discomfort over time. When you consistently take a few minutes to engage the key stabilizers before walking, the joints are properly aligned, forces are distributed evenly, and your body naturally moves in a way that protects itself. Over weeks and months, this builds not only muscular endurance but also confidence in your movement. You're no longer walking tentatively or worrying about fatigue or imbalance because your body has learned to perform efficiently. Another powerful aspect is how consistency improves neurological patterns. Walking isn't purely physical, it's a conversation between your brain and muscles. Each time you practice pre-walk activation, you strengthen the communication lines between the nervous system and your stabilizing muscles. Over time, this activation becomes automatic. Your body learns to recruit the right muscles instinctively every time you stand up or start moving, which means that even on days when you're tired, stressed, or just waking up, your legs are better prepared to handle the walk. This automatic activation not only reduces the sensation of tiredness but also enhances overall balance and coordination, making movement feel more natural and effortless. Additionally, consistent preparation before walking has long-term protective benefits. By ensuring that your joints are supported and your muscles are firing efficiently, you're reducing wear and tear on your knees, hips, and lower back. This preventative approach preserves joint health and can help delay or prevent chronic issues that often arise from years of inefficient movement patterns. In essence, it turns walking into a form of maintenance and strengthening rather than a source of strain or fatigue. Finally, the psychological benefits are significant. When walking feels easier and more comfortable, it becomes enjoyable rather than a chore. That enjoyment reinforces the habit, encouraging you to walk more frequently and with greater confidence. Each time you consistently prepare your body, you strengthen the positive feedback loop. Better activation leads to easier walking, which leads to more movement, which strengthens muscles and improves endurance, which makes walking feel effortless. Over time, this cycle transforms not only your walking experience, but also your overall mobility, energy, and quality of life, making walking a truly empowering and sustainable activity.